I think it's important to realize that the Emirates and Israel have enjoyed very good relations for some time now, quite a few years, without the peace agreement. It is being depicted as a peace agreement. In fact, in my view, it has little to do with peace, at least at the Palestinian front, and everything to do with bilateral relations. So in practical terms, the agreement did not advance the cause of bilateral relations between the two countries, which have been going on for some time. It's not clear at this point. A lot of people are expecting the Saudis, for example, to follow suit. In my view, it is more difficult for the Saudis while King Salman is at the helm. It's more difficult for the Saudis to follow suit, even though the Saudis and the Israelis also have a lot of cooperation vis-a-vis the Iranian issue. Saudi Arabia is the owner of the Arab Peace Initiative, which is an initiative built on land for peace, the return of all the occupied land in return for peace between Israel and all Arab countries. It is very difficult for Saudi Arabia, which views itself as the leader of the Islamic world, to follow suit with an agreement that doesn't uphold that principle of land for peace and instead calls for peace for peace. So I'm not sure the Saudis will follow suit. It is clear, however, that the Arab Peace Initiative, for example, which has been dormant for a number of years, is probably no more on the table. The Arab Peace Initiative was built on the premise that all Arab states will sign a peace agreement with Israel, but only in return for Israel ending the occupation of 3 Arab countries, ending the occupation of the West Bank, of the Golan Heights, and of the Sheba farms in Lebanon. That whole principle of land for peace has been undermined today, and the principle of consensus, a consensus of all Arab states signing on to this land for peace formula, that consensus has been disrupted. So it is very difficult from now on to talk about a collective Arab response to the Palestinian-Israeli conflict, to the Arab-Israeli conflict in general. I think we're going to see many responses, some that are welcoming, probably among most of the Gulf states, not all of them, but the rest of the Arab world is probably going to stick nominally to the Arab Peace Initiative. This is a very controversial issue. The UAE has tried to project the agreement as helping the cause of peace in the region. I think the basic question to ask here is, will these agreements in fact advance the cause of peace? My view is that we need to look at the bottom line. If the agreements result in an end of the occupation and the establishment of a Palestinian state on Palestinian soil, then these agreements are going to be viewed as positive and the cost will be minimal. However, this is not the case. The fact today is that Israel has used these agreements and others to say that they no longer need peace with the Palestinians and instead can rely on peace with the Arab world. The Israeli Prime Minister yesterday openly declared that he is not interested in a Palestinian state, neither today nor tomorrow. That is the real cost that we will all have to bear. The death of the two-state solution and what it entails vis-a-vis repercussions with the international community. So the cost of the agreements might not be seen or might not be evaluated today. In the short term, particularly people in the West are going to say, what's wrong with peace agreements that apparently help the cause of peace? What I'm suggesting is that these are not going to help the cause of peace because they are trying to evade the central question, which is how to reach a deal with the Palestinians who are under occupation today, not the Emiratis, not the Bahrainis, and not any other Arab country.